After studying this module, you shall be able to know the meaning of dividends, learn about the different forms of dividend, analyze the impact of dividend distribution, identify the factors affecting dividend decisions, and understand the mechanism of dividend distribution. Dividends are that portion of the profits of the company which are distributed to the shareholders of the company. The part of profit which is not distributed is termed as retained earnings. It is not the shareholder's right to claim dividends, although it is declared in the annual general meeting of the company. It is the board of directors who propose the dividends, and the shareholders merely approve the proposal. They can decrease the dividends as proposed by the board, but have no right to increase the rate of dividend. Dividend decisions are very important for the company, as it will affect the financial decisions as well as the cost of capital of the company. It also affects the share prices as well as the wealth of the shareholders. As the objective of financial management is wealth maximization, the dividend decision should be taken after many important considerations and thoughts. Forms of dividend. One is cash dividends. Dividends are generally paid in cash. It is the shareholders' expectation to receive dividends in cash, but paying dividends in cash means there should be enough cash as well. High level of profitability does not always imply high liquidity, and besides, it is not necessary that the company is in a position to pay cash. It might need cash for other more important growth-oriented investments. 2. Stock dividends. Sometimes the company may also issue dividends in the form of bonus shares, either in lieu of or in addition to cash dividends. The earnings get capitalized and reserves get reduced. However, there is no reduction in the net worth of the company. 3. Scrip dividends. A scrip dividend is just like a promissory note which promises to pay the dividends at a future date. This is resorted to when the company does not have the cash or for some other reason wants to conserve the cash. Declaration of bonus to the shareholders is also not a possibility due to legal and statutory guidelines. The company pays interest on these scrip dividends. 4th, bond dividends. Instead of declaring dividends in cash, a company may also issue bonds to the shareholders in order to conserve cash. 5. Optional dividends. Optional dividends are paid to the shareholders at their option. They may either opt for cash or they can opt for stock dividends. Practical considerations in dividend policy. Whenever a discussion is held on the sources of finance for the company and internal sources are discussed, dividend decisions are automatically considered. But before assessing the financial needs of the company, a decision has to be taken, and that is whether the dividend should be independent of previous year's dividends or there should be some stability and smoothing effect. Some of the practical considerations in the dividend policies are as follows. Number 1, availability of cash. Traditional theories have postulated that a dividend decision is solely a function of the earnings of the firm. While earnings are an important determinant for the dividend decision, the role of liquidity cannot be ignored. Dividend payout entails cash outflow for the firm. Hence, the quantum of dividend proposed to be distributed critically depends on the liquidity of the firm. Therefore, the first important aspect while distributing dividends is to ensure there is surplus or sufficient cash with the company and they can easily afford to distribute as dividends. Number 2, investment opportunities available to the company. Whenever a good investment opportunity arises in the market, a company must avail of the opportunities. Sometimes it becomes must for the company to grow Otherwise, it will not sustain but will die. Normally, firms tend to have low payout if profitable investment opportunities exist, and conversely, firms tend to resort to high payouts if profitable investment opportunities are lacking. Generally, firms operating in industries which are in a nascent and growth phases of product life cycle are characterized by high dependence on retained earnings. On the other hand, firms operating in industries which are in the maturity and decline stages normally distribute a large portion of their earnings as dividends. 3. Constraints in distributing dividends. There are legal and statutory rules which a company has to follow in order to distribute dividends. Sometimes the law does not allow the company to issue excessive dividends. The companies have to follow the guidelines as per the Companies Act 2013. Fourth, expectations of the shareholders. Whatever may be the earnings of the company or the requirement of the company for cash, the shareholders always have some expectation which must be fulfilled in order to keep the good image of the company. The preference of the shareholders has a strong influence on the dividend policy of the firm. A firm will pay high payout ratio if the shareholders show preference towards current dividend, whereas it can keep a low payout ratio if the shareholders show preference towards capital gains. Whatever is the decision, it should be ensured that the policy should be for the long run, and it should try to strike a balance between the expectations of the shareholders as well as the needs of the company and its constraints. Number 5, flotation costs. Issue of securities to raise capital in lieu of retained earnings involves flotation cost. These costs includes fees payable to merchant bankers, underwriting commission, brokerage, listing fees, marketing expenses, etc. Moreover, smaller the size of the issue, higher will be the flotation cost as a percentage of amounts mobilized. Number 6, access to finance. A company which has easy access to external sources of finance can afford to be more liberal in its dividend payout. The dividend policy of such firms is relatively independent of its financing decisions. Firms having little or no access to external financing have rather limited flexibility in their dividend decisions. Taxes. Number 7. The incidence of taxation on the firm and the shareholders has an important influence on the dividend policy. In India, the companies are required to pay corporate dividend tax or dividend distribution tax under the Income Tax Act, whereas this income is exempt in the hands of the shareholders. Number 8, dividend preference. The dividend preference theory maintains that generally shareholders prefer receiving dividends to not receiving them. This may be said to be based on theory that a bird in hand is better than two in bush. There is always uncertainty in the future, so they may prefer to receive payments immediately. Number 9, dividend aversion. The dividend aversion position asserts that investors generally prefer that companies do not pay dividends in order to enhance the value or market price of the shares. Since dividends also entail corporate dividend tax, which ultimately are borne by the shareholders only, and capital gains are exempt from tax, shareholders prefer not to receive dividends. The mechanics of dividend payments. Number 1, we should appreciate the key dates. Whenever dividends are paid by the firm, there are certain dates which are very crucial and termed as key dates. The key dates associated with the dividends are: number 1, the declaration date. The amount of cash dividend is authorized by the firm's board of directors. A separate authorization occurs every time, even if it is in the firm's policy to pay the same amount repeatedly. The date on which the board authorizes the dividend is called as the declaration date. Number 2, the date of record. Stocks are registered securities, meaning that a list is kept with indicating the name of the owner of shares in the records of the company. This is called as the register of members. When a share is sold, ownership is transferred and this fact is recorded in the register of members. When the board authorizes a dividend, it stipulates a date of record and dividends are made payable to those members only whose name appears on the register of members on that date. Third is payment date. The board also stipulates the date on the dividend check is to be mailed. This is known as payment date. The ex-dividend date. When shares are sold, it can take a few days to update the ownership record. So a sale made shortly before the date of record might not be recognized for payment purposes. To allow for a paperwork lag, progress firms have agreed to cut off sale for dividend purposes 4 business days prior to the date of record. The cutoff is called the ex-dividend date. Ex-dividend date is significant with respect to the stock market activity. An investor who purchases the stock prior to the ex-dividend date receives the next dividend. One who purchases on or after that date does not. Number 2, the dividend payment process. The amount of dividend, including interim dividends, shall be deposited in a scheduled bank by the company. The balance must be kept in separate account within 5 days from the date of declaration of such dividend as per the Companies Act. Provided that dividend payable in cash may be paid by check or warrant or in any electronic form to the shareholders entitled to the payment of dividend. Companies Act 2013 in respect of declaration and payment of dividend. Number 1, declaration of dividend. As per section 123 subsection 1 of the Companies Act 2013, no dividend shall be declared or paid by the company for any financial year except A, out of the profits of the company for that year, arrived at after providing for depreciation in accordance with the provisions of subsection 2, or out of profits of the company for any previous financial year or years, arrived at after providing for depreciation in accordance with the provisions of that subsection and remaining undisputed, or out of both. Or B, out of money provided by the central government or a state government for the payment of dividend by the company in pursuance of a guarantee given by that government. Provided that a company may, before the declaration of any dividend in any financial year, transfer such percentage of its profit for that financial year as it may consider appropriate to the reserves of the company. Provided further that where, owing to inadequacy or absence of profits in any financial year, any company proposes to declare dividends out of accumulated profits earned by it in previous years and transferred by the company to the reserves. Such declaration of dividends shall not be made except in accordance with the rules as may be prescribed in this behalf. Provided also that no dividend shall be declared or paid by a company from its reserves other than free reserves. Dividend policy. The board of directors has to decide about the dividends to be declared to the shareholders. Dividend policy means determining the percentage of earning that should be distributed to the shareholders as dividends. The board can decide on a strict dividend policy or a liberal dividend policy. A strict dividend policy means that the directors would retain maximum earnings to finance the growth needs of the company, and a liberal dividend policy would mean paying maximum dividends, that is keeping the payout ratio high and retention ratio low. Dividend payout ratio is given by dividing the dividend per share with earnings per share. 1 minus payout ratio is called as retention ratio. Look at strict dividend policy. It is not a very good dividend policy, as the shareholders definitely expect to get at least some returns in hand. Firms which are in growth phase resort to this kind of policy, as they like to retain the profits for further investments. The shareholders also like the growth, and the returns are reflected in the share prices as capital profits, yet there is uncertainty in this type of returns. Therefore, this policy is not very well taken by the shareholders. Despite this, some firms resort to a strict dividend policy when they need funds. The policy is particularly resorted by those firms which are in the growth phase and require funds to take up expansion, modernization and growth plans. I can share with you the name of the companies which have resorted to this kind of plan, and everyone is aware of Microsoft. They have not paid dividends for years. What about liberal dividend policy? Liberal dividend policy means that the firms will try to distribute as much as dividends to the shareholders which it can. However, the restriction of the laws as applicable to the firm will be taken into consideration. A liberal dividend policy is followed by those firms which have already reached a saturation point and do not require funds for growth and expansion. If a firm which requires funds follows liberal dividend policy, then it will unnecessarily distribute the earnings to the shareholders in the first phase and then ask the same shareholders to invest in the firm by subscribing to the right issue. Now, I can also give you the examples of these kind of companies: Hindustan Levers, Colgate, ITC, etc. Because of the government restrictions, they are not able to remit the profit abroad, so they are forced to give high amount of dividend to the shareholders. Third is stable dividend policy. According to the stable dividend policy, a firm tries to keep the dividends stable. When a firm follows this policy, the investors also have good perception of the firm in the minds, which creates a very good image of the firm and keeps share prices growing, thereby increasing the wealth of the shareholders. As per this dividend policy, given by Linter's emphasis, it was on stability of dividends. That is why an adjustment factor is used which gives due importance to last year's dividends and this year's expected dividends. Stable dividend policy can also be followed in the following ways. How? Constant dividends. As per the policy, the dividends per share is kept constant. There may be fluctuation in earnings, but dividends are kept constant. Obviously, the dividends under this policy will not be very high, as there must be reserves to provide for in the event of losses or low earnings. The shareholders are aware of what they will receive in future and they can plan accordingly. The company can also plan its expansion program and will be aware of how much funds must be raised from external sources so as to meet the financial needs. Next is constant percentage of earning of the company. According to this policy, dividends may fluctuate, but the dividends are kept at a constant percentage of the profits of the companies. Dividends will tend to fluctuate in exactly the same fashion as the fluctuation in earnings. The ratio of dividends to earning is kept constant and the ratio is called as the payout ratio. Thus, no dividends will be paid when there is no profit and low dividend will be paid in case earnings are low. Some constant dividends plus extra dividends. According to this policy, some small amounts of dividends are guaranteed, and if there are large earnings in any year, more dividends are paid over and above the constant dividends. The amount of dividend is set at high level and the policy is adopted for companies with stable earnings. For those companies which have fluctuating earnings, the policy will be to pay a small amount constantly and higher amount in the period of prosperity, so that dividends are not missed in the event of low profits. This policy ensures some cash dividends. Therefore, the shareholders can also do their planning beforehand of the ways in which they will invest or use the cash dividends. And at the same time, they get pleased to receive higher dividends when company pays when earnings increase. Summary. Dividend decisions are one of the most important financial functions. It is concerned with the determination of that part of the earnings which should be distributed to the shareholders. Dividends are that portion of the profits of the company which are distributed to the shareholders of the company. The part of profit which is not distributed is termed as retained earnings. Dividends are generally paid in cash. Sometimes the company may also issue dividends in the form of bonus shares, either in lieu of or in addition to cash dividends. There are various factors on which dividend distribution depends. Some of these factors are as follows: availability of cash, investment opportunities, constraints in distributing dividends. Whenever dividends are paid by the firm, they have to observe certain dates which are very crucial, and they are known as key dates. The key dates associated with dividends are record dates, distribution date, etc. The amount of dividend, including interim dividends, shall be deposited in a scheduled bank and paid to the shareholders within the time as per Companies Act 2013. While distributing dividends, legal rules must be adhered to. The dividend policy can be either a strict dividend policy, where dividends paid are less even when there are earnings; liberal dividend policy, where dividends paid are a higher percentage of earnings, that is, payout ratio is high; or stable dividend policy, where payments are fixed either or payout ratio is fixed.